So we're going to talk about the first species of JJFux step by step. Let me just first, I would like to say this is a modal. We're not working on a tonal, on a modal counterpoint fashion. So first, I'm going to use the Cantus Firmus given by him on the printed page 30. Here, that's G, F, E, D, G, F, A, G, F, E, D. I'm going to write on the bass clef. Let me figure out this sound here. Sorry, all this. Okay, that's the Cantus Firmus that given the chant. We do not change the chant. We change the counterpoint to fulfill the rules. And the rules are tons of rules. On the printed page 28, he says that the counterpoint, the rhythm must, on the first species, the same rhythm from the Cantus Firmus and counterpoint have the same rhythm note. So if the Cantus Firmus is given the whole note, you're going to write on the counterpoint as whole note. The motions that should be used the most: contrary movement and oblique movement, to avoid any possible mistakes. And we start and end with the perfect consonances. In this case, here's the octave. We start with the octave and end with the octave. 11 measures. No usage ever on the first species of the diminished or augmented or chromatic intervals. So no use of the diminished, augmented, or chromatic intervals, and no larger than the perfect 5, except for the octave and minor 6 that should be used only ascending. Only ascending is the octave, in this case when you have the minor 6. To use more the imperfect consonants like the thirds and the sixths. No parallels octave, you listen, no parallels perfect 5. So it's here. And two before the end here. I'm just finding here where it is written. So the next to the last bar, there must be a major 6 if Cantus Firmus is in the lower part, and in a minor third if it's in the upper part. But because we're going to do modal, so it's going to be the minor 6 and the major 6, the contrary. That's it here. La ta ta ti da ta ta. Let's listen here. Start with the perfect consonants, that's the octave. And ends with the perfect consonants, that is an octave. So it starts and ends with the perfect consonants. Octave, octave. Let's listen. Sorry about the sound of ah. So let's see if there is any, and there are any crime scene here. Octave on the oblique movement. 6, the interval 6, 6, 6. So 3 interval of the imperfect consonants. He says there's no more than 3 of those. So 1, 2, 3. Now a third, perfect 5, perfect fourth. Perfect fourth reached by descending, that he says that is dissonance. So this is ascending, even though it's in a parallel movement. It's more or less accepted. So third, 36, and octave. Again, let's listen. Octave 6, 6. So 1, 2, 3. So that's the end. So 1, 2, 3. Before you should have that B, A, C, D on the counterpoint. Ta, 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 ta. It was ta, da, ta, ta. Let's see. Let's listen the two, modal and the tonal. For me here. That's the subtonic, and I'm going to add on sharp. It's going to be leading tone. Let's listen to the same place. So when I add the C sharp here, it's no more a Doric. A Doric is a minor, A minor, Aeolian. Okay? So therefore, I'm going to remain here C natural for now. So we'll be our Dorian mode. Let me write this here. Okay? Dorian is the Cantus Firmus. It's based on the Dorian. So the interval between the two voices cannot be more than 1/10. But he wrote in the first part no more than a perfect 5, unless it's an octave or 6 when you go to the octave and 6. And also we cannot have chromatic intervals. Let me show chromatic here. This is the first species, okay? Now when you start with the perfect 5, the Cantus Firmus is still on the lower part. On the lower part, not on the upper part. Here is the example from the book. Now let's put the C as natural. Again. The subtonic, okay? If I put a C sharp, it's a leading tone. on the second species that we can have, on the second species we can have chromatic, you can have all the diminished augmented intervals, but on the downbeat, sorry, on the upper beat. So, but the rules regarding consonants and when it starts is the perfect consonants to finish, to end, or sorry, to start and finish. So here on the second part of the beat, I can add, that is a 7. I can add that because it's on the weak part of the tempo. The strong part was in the downbeat, so ta ta, so it's a ta ta. No, always perfect consonants. Who are the perfect consonants intervals? Let me put it here in this page. Octave, perfect 5, and unison. Those are the only ones here, because he considered the perfect fourth as a dissonance when it's descending. Interval is going downward. So for now, so we consider just those 3 intervals as a perfect consonance. And also he says here, should not use much of those intervals. Use more than perfect consonants. Here, on the printed page 29. More imperfect intervals than perfect consonants should be employed. Should use more imperfect, which means more thirds and sixths intervals. So here, you need to be careful to not go parallel octaves here. If I add here one B, da da dee, da 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 dee, the tritone or tritone. They call the Diablo in music, augmented fourth, F, G, A, B, augmented fourth. So this cannot happen, it's a crime scene. Okay, so we are going to, from the first species rule, we are going to apply to the second. The only part that we can use that B natural here is going to be on the upbeat, on the second part of the tempo. Let's put one oblique. Now we can have, you understand, we can have on this part of the tempo, on the subdivision here. So on the first part, no dissonance on the first part. As the first species, no dissonances on the downbeat. Downbeat is the first part of the tempo. So 1, 1, 1 and 1, so 1 and 1 and. Understand? So 1, 1, 1 and, yes. In this part, so this is a 7. Let's write this here. So that's an octave, a 7, perfect 5, augmented fourth. The crime scene could be here on the weak part of the tempo. So forte piano, forte piano, forte piano. We cannot add one B here because it's going to be perfect 5. But we're going to go to C. Let's see here. So have the red here because I put as a baritone on the counterpoint here, voice. Let's listen. Estou gritando. Tara, tara, isso. Ta, tara, tarari, e ta, 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 tari. That's not it. Let me show just for now here so you see. This cannot happen even though it's a third interval, but because the counterpoint is below the Cantus Firmus, cannot happen crossing the voices. Cross voice is when a voice is below, in this case, below the Cantus Firmus. So F, deixa eu ver lá. So the counterpoint F is right here, below the A. This cannot happen, okay? When you listen, yes, you can have, you listen, okay? Okay, now let's see if you need some modification here. So have seconds, those are parallel seconds, but it's on the upbeat, on the weak part, on the piano. So forte piano. So forte piano, forte piano, forte piano, forte piano, forte piano, forte piano. So on the forte is the third and the thirds, and here the octave, six, octave, thirds. So seven, second, second. Unísono, second, third, unísono. So it's not parallel because the unísono here is on the downbeat, on the forte part. And here the unísono is on the piano part. Okay, ó. Forte piano, forte piano. Augmented forces on the piano part. Piano, not instrument, on the dynamic. Here, so you have this P. I'm just adding here. So forte, forte, piano. P as a piano, not instrument, but dynamic. Forte, piano, forte, piano, forte, piano, and forte. Let me add just for now in all. So forte, piano, forte, piano, forte, piano, forte, piano, forte, piano, forte, piano. Okay, so now let's see. We have octaves, perfect 5, 6, octave, thirds, thirds, unisono, third, second. Okay, but second is not second, sorry. My apologies, this is third. My God. Augmented fourth on the piano part, perfect fourth. So this is going to be a no-no because it's descending. Now let's listen. I can change here the tempo. Colocar grave. Also, he said for us to use stepwise between conjunct intervals or conjunct. The interval of seconds on the voice should not be like that ping pong. For example, if you're going to put it here, I cannot see the how can I? Okay. The good news we did here was the arpeggio. Ta, 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 ta. So he asked to avoid to make this ping pong on the voices. To use conjunct or stepwise. That is stepwise. I'm just going to add here, just not related. Those are stepwise intervals, which means seconds. So major, minor, major, 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 minor, major. For example, the D minor scale or Dorian scale. ta, ti, ta. I'm having a frog voice. So anyhow, so to use more the stepwise intervals, all his rules is on his book, the study of the counterpoint, the Gradus ad Parnassum. This is the first chapter. Yes, chapter 1. You can write the rules from the dialogues, a different set of book. It's not a book that you read on the 21st century. No. The way that is made, this is made from a long time ago. So you need to find all the rules here on the dialogue, Joseph and Alois, or Alois, Joseph and Alois. So you can find here the rule. Here, the last tone, the last interval in the Cantus Firmus, the 7th degree, always as the next to the last tone, which means is the before the octave. Here. It should be that's the 7th degree of the Dorian, is C natural. Dorian scale. That's Dorian. And the original note is D. D. Frisian is E. And we're talking about Dorian is D, E, F, G, A, B. And the characteristic interval is the major sequence D to B. The Aeolian is the minor. That is A to F natural. So, but here, let me just erase for now. Start with the note D. D. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, descend D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D. Let's listen. Now let's listen the Cantus Firmus. So it's based on this ta ta ti ta 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 fa la sol fa mi re. Use just a perfect 5 until the perfect 5 notes to make the Cantus Firmus. So for today, that's all.